Ooh, I might need a shot for this one.
Oh man.
All right.
Level 857 Video Game Podcast.
A Resident Evil 4 remake is coming in 2022, and Code Veronica fans are upset.
I'm furious.
Do they? It doesn't need a remake.
Let's talk about
all
it.
right, well,
Let's
first
talk
of all,
about it.
All right.
At least not
well,
yet.
first of all, how many Resident Evil 4s came out? Does anyone know the number of how many?
The same
much-
amount.
I think 3.
The same amount as Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3.
It's on every platform.
And let's
Yes.
take into account that it's been remastered
Yes.
before.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
it's been remastered.
Well, this is
No,
a
this
this
is a
is
remake,
a
man.
remake though.
Not the same. Not the same.
So this is like a, they're adding
would-
new stuff to it, new mechanics.
Listen,
I
people
beat
know.
that
This
game
is-
so many times. I am not playing it over.
not.
Yeah, no.
I have yet to play it.
Nah,
I have yet to play Resident Evil 4.
It only works for Jay because he's the only one who didn't play part 4 here.
But listen, you think I'd be excited about it? I actually bought Resident Evil for like $3 for the PS4. I have it. It's a PS3 or whatever it was. It was $3 I could play it on the PS4. I have it. I have not played it yet because I saw people play it. I know the game. It's a great game, but the amount of time spent in it right now, I can't jump into it.
Dude, how many hours was that game?
It's
a
a
big
long
game.
game.
It was like 40.
That's
Yeah,
like
it's like a
40-hour
40-hour.
Resident Evil
Yeah.
game.
For
Yes.
Resident
Resident Evil
Evil,
4 is
It
like
was
40
40
hours.
hours.
it's a long time
For
for
an
a
action
Resident Evil.
game.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I wish that if they are doing a remake of this, I wish they would have renamed the titles right. Because Resident Evil 3, people are complaining because it's too short.
Right.
What Resident Evil originally was it's basically a DLC for Resident Evil 2. It's a bigger DLC, yes, but it's not a full-on game. It was originally Resident Evil 2.5.
Right.
And I wish
Yeah.
they would have taken this opportunity to fix what they messed up with naming these titles and name that Resident Evil 2.5 and then named Resident Evil Code Veronica into Resident Evil 3 and fixed
That should have been there. That's the
Fix
real
the
Resident
titles,
Evil 3.
because
Code Veronica.
everyone looks over Code Veronica because it's not a numbered title.
Right.
They don't think it's a real
They
title.
act like it's a side story.
They think that's the side story.
They treat it like a side story.
But the side story,
Code Veronica was fire.
Oh, it's one of the best Resident Evils.
the side story was Resident Evil 3. So, and everyone's like, oh, they did Resident Evil 2 so good. How did they drop the ball on 3? I was like, 3 was always this small. They may have cut some scenes out of it.
It's a side story. It happened at the exact same time
Yeah.
before and during and after part 2.
But
Think
people
of
are
the, think
really
of the
hurt.
launch. Think of the launch cycle too. Like it came out.
Right away.
literally a year after 2 was.
Well, because
2 came out.
Capcom gets
It
on
was
their
a
cash
cash
grab.
grab.
They get on there
Yeah.
like, oh, 2 is hot. Let's do 3.
Right.
And we can do a little quick something so we can get that money or whatever because we'll just label it 3. Same thing. They did the same thing with Resident Evil 7. Let's put the Resident Evil name on it. Get that cash grab. It's nothing like Resident Evil, and it is not Resident Evil. And they're doing the same shit for part 4.
It's messed up.
It
because
came out already. It's like the graphics. not that big.
Guys, you gotta understand.
Do you remember? Actually, I was gonna say.
Capcom's trying to recoup money from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Well, they made that with fucking Resident Evil 2 remake, man. They made that back.
Do you guys remember a few months ago? There was rumors going around on, and actually it was on one of our news coverages that we discussed of like Capcom is developing a remake for something, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't confirmed, and obviously Part 3 was thrown in there. And
No, they were talking Dino Crisis.
people were talking about Dino
Yeah,
Crisis.
yeah.
Nobody's talking about that shit now. And it's like if they were gonna if they were gonna do a remake, like Resident Evil 4
Doesn't
like,
need it.
what?
It's a
That was
waste.
like
It doesn't need it right now.
I like,
Waste.
wait, hold
But
Dino Crisis would be good.
This is the thing.
Code
This is the thing.
Veronica would be good. But go ahead.
This is the thing. Resident Evil 4, the remake doesn't sound like it's going to be for the PS4. So imagine a Resident Evil remake at the standard of the next generation in 2022.
Boo.
Boo.
Resident Evil 4 like that?
It's not going to look like, it's going to look even way better than Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. So
Oh,
it's
who
not
cares?
it's not like you're just looking at a quick cash grab. They are going to make it later.
It still is. That's definitely a cash grab if
Listen,
it's part 4.
According to Capcom, this is still their biggest title for Resident Evil.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
most sales they've
Yeah.
gotten for Resident
Of
Evil.
course.
So it's like looking at.
Oh, wait.
So it's like
Wait.
wait. So this is like
Finish
them
your part.
looking at Final Fantasy VII remake for them as a company because their sales are ridiculous.
No.
No.
Resident
Nah.
Evil 4 didn't sell the most. 5 has it. 5's got the title and it ain't
Not
touching-
better. It's not better.
Nah, but then Resident Evil 4 came out like 3 times. That's why it sold more than 5.
No, it didn't. Even if you count all of its ports, it still didn't sell more than 5.
Even Resident Evil 2 remake.
Google, everyone in the chat, Google it right now. Let them know.
Even Resident Evil 2
All right, hold
remake.
on.
Listen, what's regarded as the top game, even if it's not sales? What's regarded as the top Resident Evil?
Resident Evil 4 is most people's favorites
Exactly.
that I hear.
So what's regarded
It's
as
a-
like
it's a-
that's why my reference for Final Fantasy.
But
is the same.
I don't know if that's the top though.
No, that's what's regarded as the #1 title from
Yeah,
Capcom for
universally,
Resident Evil.
yeah.
Top
that
sales.
makes sense.
Top sales is 5.
That's not. Is it a better game? Is 5 a better game
Yeah,
than
but
4?
we're
Yes.
talking about
No, 5
I
is better
think
than
5's
4.
a better
Yeah,
game.
I'll agree with that.
You think 5 is better
I'll-
than 4?
Absolutely.
I think 5. I'd rather
Absolutely.
play
5
when you
was
ask-
fire.
5 is definitely better than 4.
But when you ask people remember 4.
Name
4
it-
is the one.
What
Usually, most people like we're talking about averages here.
But thing
on
is,
average,
if we're talking about sales, that still involves people. If people
Yeah.
say that 5 sold more, then that means people like 5 better than 4. Regardless if you read it on IGN or Twitter that people like 4 more, the sales say that 5 is better because more people bought it.
What if 5
Correct?
dropped to
not,
$30? That
not
fast, though?
necessarily because people can buy a bad game. Like you could buy a game,
But we're
like,
talking millions, though.
We're
We're not
talking
talking
about-
like 10, 40 people.
Same thing.
We're talking millions of people
Fast and
here.
the Furious is a shitty franchise. I said it.
All right, slow
And
down.
that
So
shit
yeah,
makes a lot of money, billions of dollars.
But that sucked off the jump.
And
That
it's-
sucked off the jump.
No, well, that's
That was shitty off the jump.
Now
All right,
that's-
everyone knew it sucked off the
now
jump.
that's- now
all
that-
right?
now
Listen,
listen.
we can talk about Transformers
didn't
also.
suck off the jump. It made 9.
Transformers sucked off the jump also. I'll
Transformers
agree.
also.
I'll agree with that.
My point is, those franchises make a lot of money in the box office. Same
Doesn't
thing
mean
with
it's the
video
best.
games. Makes a lot of money in the sales. Doesn't mean that the game is good.
But Resident Evil is quality.
So-
Okay, Resident Evil has always been
Resident
quality.
Evil 5, okay,
Every-
yes,
that
I agree.
series is quality.
It is better than 4. I agree with you on that. But when you ask the general public, most of them would say 4. They remember 4 as being their best.
People
Resident Evil.
offline will say most likely that
Hold
4
on.
is the one they're waiting.
And it really,
I'm
it really
looking
comes
at
down
Wi-
to
I'm
the
looking at
generation, like
Wikipedia.
what
It says,
generation you came
according-
from. So
Hold
To Capcom's Platinum Titles list, Resident Evil 4 has sold 5.9 million copies across all formats, making it the 4th best-selling Resident Evil game.
Okay.
okay.
Well, there you go.
Well, I know Resident Evil 2 just sold 6 million, right? The remake.
All right,
I
man,
believe
listen,
so.
hold on.
What
I
about
believe
what
so.
about
I believe so.
I
reviews?
think
Yeah.
that's right. I think that's right.
And
What
the
about
new one,
review scores?
Resident Evil 3 is up to 2 million right now. So they are making a killing
Yeah.
with all these remakes.
Well, the thing is with Capcom, this is the thing. Resident Evil 4, they made bank. They make bank on all their Resident Evils. They make crazy bank.
6.
And I think that instead of going towards
6 might be the second
I
highest.
like 6.
wait a
I
second.
actually enjoy it.
But the thing is, like the remake, the whole point of the remake, right? Like
Just to take something old
yeah,
and
take
make it new.
something old and hideous and make it dope, right? Part 2 was old and dated. Most games on PS1 or Saturn, they're dated because the polygons, they're dripping, they're nasty, they're dated. So you'd redo it, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." Did the same thing with Part 3. Part 4 is not that.
No.
Part
Well,
4
listen.
is not that. Hold on 1 sec. Part 4 is not that. Code Veronica is that, and they completely took a shit on that by saying, "I swear to God, if Part 4 is remade." I'm gonna be very pissed off.
It's not to say that Code Veronica won't happen. Though.
No, I still think it will. I believe it will.
my problem is that they said that it's due to come out at what is it 2022?
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have a problem with them remaking 4.
if Veronica was first,
If they gave it the same treatment that they did with Final Fantasy and took 10 years to fucking make put the care and time and shit and with the updated, you know what I mean?
Listen,
Like,
what they're updating is the controls. That's why 1 and 2 and well 3 and was it 2 and 3? That's why changing it to what it is now, to what 4 introduced as far as controls over the shoulder and behind the back and stuff like that,
Right.
and not tank controls. That's why these games have improved so much on their, their older titles, because they added that control scheme. Now, if you're doing a remake and improving the graphics and the control screen's the same, you don't need to do that right
No.
now. That's the problem.
No.
And that's why Code Veronica could be changed, because that still has the old control scheme.
I agree with that. Now, the thing about 4, this is the only way I will co-sign on 4. Okay, Part 4 was not survival horror.
That's
Okay?
action.
That was action.
Action.
That was the beginning of the action. This is when they started going away from the Resident Evil formula, and they went towards action-packed. You got the people who were infected coming after you, like legit running after you, shouting shit. If they somehow change that into some survival horror and added different elements to the game, co-op, even though I don't know who the hell would be the second player, but like if they did something that was so different, so different that it would be like, all right, this is definitely a new game.
Well, you know what?
And then they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
You know what, though? In their beta copies of Resident Evil 4, it was originally more horror-based. If you ever watched that trailer with the ghost and everything, with the curtains and all that.
Oh, wait. I think I know that.
They had more horror-based in it. So if they did want to add some parts, like newer things in there to make it more scary.
They could do that.
That could be cool. Yeah. And maybe they have that plan because they had that. Remember that they added stuff to 2? That was from Resident Evil 1.5.
Yep, yep.
And they had like the extra costumes and stuff in there because they referenced it.
Yeah.
Listen,
but people were mad. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
People were mad because they said if they're making 4, they don't want it to be like 3. And I'm like, how would it be like 3?
It's not even
because
remotely
it's not
close.
the same
It's
type
not
of
even
game.
remotely close.
They're like, because people were
yeah.
mad because they cut out stuff in 3 and they changed stuff in it. And it was already a short game to begin with.
Right.
So they're like, oh, if they just do a cash grab and do 4 quickly like that, they don't want it. I was like, first of all, it's 2 years from now. And it's a much larger game, way larger than Resident Evil 3.
Very big.
So it's not going to be that way. It's going to be more like 2, if anything.
Right.
But, you know, they want to do a yearly thing with Resident Evil. I'm not too sure about that. They want to do Resident Evil 8 next year.
You might Assassin's Creed it. You know, you don't want to Assassin's Creed it.
Saturate the market with Resident Evil every year.
Because there's something special about Resident Evil 2 Remake. There's something really special about that.
But Capcom doesn't do millions, like 20 millions in sales. They have what was it? The top selling game that they have is the one that just came out,
Monster Hunter World.
And that's their top of all time.
Right.
So Capcom doesn't do numbers like, you know, like what's the one from Nintendo that just came out?
Animal Crossing.
Like, they don't do Animal Crossing numbers. They don't do Nintendo numbers to begin with.
Those numbers are absurd.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what they want. And obviously, they're going to keep trying this stuff until they get it. And the remakes are selling. They are selling.
I think what gets me so
They are
heated
selling.
is Veronica is so dope.
It's underrated because it's for the Dreamcast.
It's probably, if they remade that, it'd be my favorite Resident Evil. It's
Same.
so, the best story hands down. It's amazing.
It's come out for other systems also, but, you know.
A remake.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of people agree with your opinion, and my opinion is because I feel the same way.
It's a side story. It's not even a number.
We have a
Yeah, exactly. It's a side story.
well, we have the opinion of like this should have been remade. And when there's a lot of people on Twitter, they put up some funny tweets and some memes. We're gonna leave the link in the description of the actual video when it's posted. And you got to check it out when you get a chance because it's pretty funny, man.
It just
A lot
gets a
of
big
people were just
why.
like,
Why? Why is this announcement even made?
I was expecting.
I thought it was bullshit, and then it got ground, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I remember when you
Gotta
told
be
me. I
kidding
was like,
me.
oh, really? Nah, they're not doing that. And then
It's
like,
been a while. I
it's
mean,
confirmed. I'm
it
like,
came
no.
out a long time ago now.
I would co-sign more
It's a
on the
waste.
Resident Evil 1 again remake,
They've
even
been
though it
talking
was
about that.
remade.
They've been talking about that.
They need to stop. They need to stop. No, the one on the GameCube is fucking perfect. Just leave it alone, man. Jesus Christ.
How afraid is Capcom of making an original game? Stop making these remakes of everything.
Very.
After
I'm waiting
Veronica,
for.
that's
I
where
want
it
them to
needs
remake Street
stop.
Fighter 2.
They need to make Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Yes.
Well, they already did the super hyper, whatever the hell.
make it like 5.
I want them to remake Street Fighter 5.
Oh my god, yo.
The full game.
Could you
Just
imagine?
release the full
Yeah,
game.
release the full game
Actually
in one
did.
disc.
Yes.
Super. The last one that was basically a full game. Now they did re-release it. So.
Championship edition?
Yeah.
I think it was Street Fighter 5 Championship
It should
edition.
be the final one that we should have made.
With all the characters, everybody.
Definitely let us know. In
I
the,
thought 4 was perfect. I don't know why they came out with 5 so soon after 4.
Well, 'cause
but
they
whatever.
were
I don't
doing it
think
with the Evo.
5 came out too soon after 4.
It was because of the Evo fighting game tournaments.
It was a bad time for the Capcom and their bad decisions. So hopefully they're not going back into that.
They basically rushed it for the fighting game tournaments. For
What if
Evo.
they just released Resident Evil like a skeleton of the game and then had extra parts added?
Chill, man. I'll lose my shit.
And you gotta pay for
as
those extra
DLC.
parts.
Yeah, Code Veronica is the
see,
DLC.
I'd be happy with that.
See, you know what the thing is? Okay, what was it? Was it part 5 that had the DLC of Chris and Jill and that little side story split screen?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where the
yeah,
fuck is
yeah.
that game? Like that's a game, you
Yeah.
idiots! Like
Yeah.
release
That's a
that.
Resident Evil.
That's a Resident Evil game, you know? Like, come on, man.
No, that DLC was awesome.
Definitely let us know in the chat. Will you prefer?
Before.
If you guys
What?
What do you prefer?
prefer Resident Evil 4 remake, because I was thinking Resident Evil 4.
Yo, this beer is
before.
kicking in, man.
No, it is. This is Cold Monkey or Code Veronica remake. Yeah.